Hello, this is Jazz Thoughts, and my name's Andrew Clarkson. Today we're talking about the now out of print live Charlie Parker album, One Night at Birdland, from 1950. This features Bud Powell on piano, Curly Russell on bass, Art Blakey on drums, and Fats Navarro on trumpet. So it's actually, as I said, an out of print album, meaning they don't produce it anymore. But I'd like to do a video on it anyway because it's one of my favorites, and the playing is incredible, of course. This album is later in Bird's, as Charlie Parker was called, career. Charlie Parker was important for helping to invent a style of jazz called bebop. Bebop was named for the way soloists would often end their phrases with a short two-note rhythm on the downbeat of the last measure of the phrase, so that it sounded like they were saying bebop. This often created phrases of unexpected odd-numbered bar lengths. Bebop was developed from the styles of some of the greatest soloists of the swing and earlier eras, like Lester Young, Louis Armstrong, Coleman Hawkins, Charlie Christian, but it evolved to include a lot more notes, a lot more complicated rhythms, a lot more dissonant harmonies, wider intervals, and angular melodies. Intervals, of course, refers to the distance between notes, and angular refers to the way lines the soloist played would jump around these wider intervals in unpredictable ways, literally creating sharp angles when the music was written out on the page. But by 1950, Bird and the other beboppers had become kind of generally accepted for their sound. It was still incredible music, even if it wasn't as avant-garde or offensive or envelope-pushing. You could say it's kind of a mature bebop style. You can also hear elements of the later hard bop style coming through, like in the more interesting arrangements. So typically in bebop, especially earlier on, the head or the melody of the tune would be played in unison by the two horns, with the rhythm section comping, and then it was off into solos. On the Birdland recording, though, you can hear some more interesting arrangements, although I'd imagine they were mostly spontaneously created in the moment and repeated in following performances. Here you can hear Bird's counter melody to Fats Navarro playing the melody on the last A section of the head out of the tune Ornithology. This really accentuates the ending of the tune in a structural, formal way. The other thing you can hear on the same tune is Bud Powell's piano intro, which is partially cut off at the beginning of the recording. This is a very Bud Powell moment because he makes the harmony a little bit more interesting by shifting outside of the general tonality of the tune. I'm thinking this one might not have been quite as improvisational. Bird probably told Bud and Curly Russell to play some sort of intro, and this is what came out. One aspect of bebop that you can find in this recording is the party atmosphere that even the artists would take part in. They were the most serious musicians, but they and the listeners of bebop often engaged in what you might call wild behavior, like drugs and drinking and plenty of other stuff. It was, of course, a counterculture movement, and those are often accompanied by that sort of thing. Bird was known for being able to quickly respond to things and sounds in his environment in a very musical way. Here, at the beginning of his solo in Ornithology, you can hear a woman in the audience shout, "Go, baby." I think it sounds like the phrase he plays after is a response to this. You can also hear during trumpet player Fats Navarro's solo on the Rhythm Changes tune Street Beat that a few times members of the audience say things like, "Go, girl," since his nickname was Fat Girl because of his large bodily size and high speaking voice. The second time, you can hear him shout in response, "Dig this," as he rips into one of his usual incredible phrases. Anyway, that's all I've got. There is a great blog by a sax player named Steve Coleman. I'll link in the description a post in which he goes in depth on a number of bird recordings, including ornithology from One Night at Birdland. I will also link a fantastic transcription on YouTube of Bird and Fats Navarro trading or playing back and forth on Street Beat. So I've reached the end of what I originally planned for with this series. I'm not sure where to go next, so let me know in the comments what you would like to hear and see. Thanks for watching. Bye.